Focus on the sensations you're feeling. Every one of us have had a different kind of day. Some of us are still working, some of us are not working. But who knows? Who knows what we went through today? Let's just try to leave all of that out. Wherever you're at, maybe just try to focus on that. Everything that's going on in your body, just leave it at the door. It doesn't matter right now. It's not important. We're just going to focus in on us. So begin to notice the breath. Where is it flowing? You don't have to really manipulate the breath just yet. We're going to get into that. Just settling in, maybe relax your body a little bit. Trying to keep an upright spine, still a neutral spine. Just relax the shoulders. Maybe relax the neck a little bit. Relax your eyes and your jaw. And now let's start to manipulate the breath. So you can keep the eyes closed if you want, or you can open the eyes. But I'm sorry, I have a squeaky dog toy in here. So let's try to relax. So we're gonna breathe in. Try to imagine the breath coming all the way down into your belly. Release the breath if you haven't already. And inhale. And exhale. Release that breath out of the nose, out of the mouth, doesn't matter. However it feels good to you and right now. And when we breathe in this time, we'll count it out. So breathe in, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gentle inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now we're going to start to get into some little neck stretches. So wherever you're at, make sure you're comfortable. So if you have a block underneath of you, just be aware of that block, aware of your legs, your hips, all of your seat. So what we'll do first, we're going to drop our right ear to our right shoulder. Just start to feel that neck stretch on the left side. So if you want to take this deeper, you can begin to press your shoulder away. So right ear, right shoulder, left shoulder stretches to get deeper into the neck. If you'd like to add even more, you can press the left arm out towards the side of you, or even try to touch your fingers to the floor. And rotate the head forward just slightly. Now by rotating your head forward, you'll start to feel a nice deep stretch on the back of the neck. So you're still on the left side, but you're like on the left back side. And then just come back over right ear towards your right shoulder. So head right in the middle. If you would like to reach up and just place your hand on top of your head and give yourself a little more, that's up to you. That's going to be like the deepest variation of this. Continuing that breath we practiced early, that 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out, release. Release the head. Bring the head back to neutral. And we'll start to lower your left ear to the left shoulder. Maybe you just let the head hang there in free suspension. Now, if you'd like to get more, you can begin to press your right shoulder down and away, getting a deeper stretch on that side of your neck. And for even more, you can press your right hand out, getting deeper in, or maybe even touch your fingertips to the ground. If you're up on a block, you might find that hard, or I should say even a pillow. And now just begin to lean your head forward a bit. You'll start to feel that deep stretch on the back right side of your neck. And coming back to the center, head still tilted, left ear, left shoulder. One more good stretch. And if you'd like to take that extra part, let's reach your hand on top of your head. Gently pull your neck. So we're not trying to get so deep that you're feeling any pain. You just want to feel a deep, like almost like a burning or warming sensation. That's okay to feel right now. Just stay away from pain. Always stay away from pain. Release that hand and let's drop your head towards the front. So while we're dropping our head towards the front, still try to remain with that neutral spine, shoulders down. Just let the head lean forward. We're not trying to lean our whole body forward, just our head and feeling sensations on the back of the neck. And from here, lift your head back up. We're just going to do some gentle neck rolls. So we'll start by dropping our right ear to our right shoulder. So drop that ear over and we're going to rotate the head forward. All the way over towards your left side, left ear, left shoulder. Now gently lower the head back. Nice and slow. Really allow the weight of the head to give you your stretch. Rotating right shoulder, right ear again. One more of those. Nice, long, slow neck circle. Eyes can be closed, open, whatever feels good. Don't forget the breath. We'll end with right ear to right shoulder. Go ahead and lift it up. We're going to go the opposite way. So this time, left ear, left shoulder. And now we're rotating our head down and towards the right side, just so we can find balance. Right ear, right shoulder, we're rotating back. Left ear, left shoulder. We'll pause there. Head comes right back up. That's very good. And once you get there, once your head is centered at your body with your neutral spine, let's just inhale the arms up. Palms can touch or not, doesn't matter, whatever feels good. Exhale, hands to heart center. From here, let's just thank our teachers, our teachers' teachers for bringing this beautiful practice of yoga with us and to us. And then if you would like to set a mantra or your sankalpa, your intention, whatever you're practicing, go ahead and repeat that now to yourself 3 times. Give yourself a couple of breaths to really focus in on that intention. Very good. Hands come down. And let's do that arm lift one more time. Inhale the arms up. Gaze up at the fingertips. Exhale, nice and slow. Hands come through heart center. Maybe they come all the way down. Let's this time circle the sun. So when the hands come out to the side, palms face up. We'll inhale the hands back up together, touch or not. Oh, really, that just depends. Sometimes it hurts the shoulders to touch the fingers. We'll bring the hands through. Circle the sun one more time. When you bring your hands to the side, palms face up, inhale, circle. Gaze up. Exhale, hands come through. Very good. And if you are on your mat, which I am not, we're going to meet at the top of the mat, standing forward fold. So you might just be able to stand up right from where you're at. Standing forward fold. We'll start to get into those hamstrings a little bit. So just warming those hamstrings. So feet can be about, I'm going to face you actually, can be about hip width apart. And as you fold over, let's bend the knees here, especially if this is your first forward fold of the day. And who knows, maybe you're in a really crazy workout program at home and this is really good on your hamstrings. So bend the knees. Be careful with yourself, your body. And here, let the shoulders, let's just let that upper body relax. Maybe even just shake it out a little bit. And then we'll pause in the center, standing forward fold, maybe grabbing at elbows. If you'd like to rock right and left, gentle little rocks.
Let the head hang loose here. If you'd like to nod the head yes and shake it no, nod it yes. And if you have your arms crossed, let's go ahead and just reverse the grip. Come back to that Ujjayi breath if you've lost it. Inhaling for 5. Exhale the air out for 5. And we'll root to rise. So hands will come up and over on the inhale. Now, whether or not you are circling the sun or you're just bringing your arms forward and up, gaze up at the fingertips. Exhale, we'll pause, hands in heart center. Inhale, lift. Exhale, we'll fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, we're going to step the left foot back, low runner's lunge. Knee comes to the mat. You can keep the toes tucked or place the top of the foot on the mat. Does not matter, whatever feels good. Chest is forward, gaze is forward. Exhale, right foot meets the left. Knees, chest, chin come all the way down to the mat. Inhale for a little cobra pose. We'll pause here, squeeze and activate the glutes. Press the tops of the feet in the mat. Take one breath here, breathe in. Shoulders rotate back and down. Exhale. Breathe in. Exhale, round over the knees, hips come high, down dog. And from here, maybe walk out the dog a little bit, alternating the heels. If you are alternating heels, paddling up, come up high on one toe, press the heel of the opposite foot into the mat. It might not touch, that's okay. Just getting a nice stretch back there in your calf. Opposite this time. Opposite foot comes high on the toes. Drop the opposite heel towards the mat. Stretch out your calf. Come high on both toes. Lower the heels down. This time left foot steps forward, low runner's lunge. So we should be on the opposite side this time. The left foot is forward, getting into that low runner's lunge. Remember how you like the back toes, either high or top of the foot on the mat. Chest is up and forward, gazing forward. On your next breath, right foot, back foot meets the top of the mat, standing forward fold. We'll inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Root to rise. Inhale the arms up. Gaze up. Exhale, hands at heart center. Inhale, arms rise. Gaze up. Exhale, we'll fold, hinging at the hips. Come all the way down. Inhale up, flat back. Left foot steps back for that low runner's lunge. So our right foot is forward, our left leg is back. Chest is forward, gaze is forward. Right foot meets the left, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, down dog, hips come high. Take your time getting there. Whatever feels good. One more breath. Left foot steps forward, low runner's lunge. Chest reaches forward. Right foot meets the left, standing forward fold, top of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Root to rise. Inhale, arms rise, gaze up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Feel the strength in the body as you pull your arms down. Inhale, with strong arms, hands come up. Exhale, strong body, hands come down. Inhale, flat back. Core is even strong and tight here. Exhale, this time both feet step back.
Knees, chest, chin, or just lower all the way down. Cobra pose. Let's pause here. Rotating the shoulders back. Readjust the legs if you need to. Glutes are squeezed tight. Feeling a nice little stretch in the front of your torso. If you're lifted up a little bit higher, really make sure to activate your whole body. Let's round over the knees, down dog. Hips come high. When you're ready, gaze to the top. You can hop or step, whatever feels good. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms lift up and over, gaze up. If you'd like to add a back bend, you'll squeeze and activate the glutes. Lift out of the spine, lean back. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's do that one more time. Let's try that little back bend again. Inhale, arms up, back bend. Activate here. You're going to lift up and out of the spine. Hands all the way down, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hop or step it back. High plank, low plank, chaturanga. Whatever feels good. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. And from this down dog, let's walk the down dog out. Really press the heels as far into the mat as you can. Sorry, I'm out of the screen. So we're pressing the heels down. We're alternating your feet. Let's pause in the center. Lower both knees down towards the mat. Hovering, 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inches. Maybe it feels like you're right up against the mat. Doesn't matter. You're just getting into your quadriceps, your booty a little bit. Lift the hips high. And let's squat it back down there. Hover the knees. Inhale, hips come high. Maybe press the chest a little deeper towards the legs. And when you're ready, we'll lift the right leg high. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale, step that right foot through to the outside of your right hand, dragon's pose. Now we're going to stay high in this dragon's pose, knee off the mat. That is an option always. If you need or want that back knee down, nobody can see you, so go ahead and do what feels good. But otherwise, try to activate your back quadriceps so you're squeezing your thigh. Press your right knee towards your right shoulder. Hands both are on the inside of the foot. And from here, keep the left hand on the mat. Lift the right arm high, little twist. So here, try to pull the knee in towards your body. Don't let it flail out to the side. Pull and hug it in tight. Right hand comes down, right foot steps back, high plank pose. So high plank is always an option. That's also an option to come down to the knees. Rotate the pelvis under, making the body tight and strong, whether you're on your knees or you're up high. Down dog. We'll just take one breath here. And exhale the air out. Left foot comes high. Inhale that leg up. Exhale, we're going to step it forward, outside left hand. So same variation here. High dragon. Pull that left knee, and I'm just going to face the camera really quick so you can see what my knees are doing. Hopefully I don't slide on my floor, but I'm pulling my knee in towards my arm. My hands are about shoulder width apart here. So while I'm up high on the back toes, I'm squeezing my inner thighs together, both of them. So they might not touch, but they're squeezing in at the same time. Root the right hand into the mat. We're taking that little twist. Left arm lifts up. Gazing can be up, down to the side. Just keep your neck nice and neutral. Core even here is strong and tight. Feel the back leg, quadricep, thigh muscle working. Left hand comes down, squeezing that left knee in the whole time. High plank pose, left foot steps back. Down dog pose, hips come high. And when you're in your down dog or your high plank pose, really any pose where our arms, our hands are down, well, imagine that your fingertips are facing the front of the mat. So it could be that your pointer fingers face forward. Everyone might be a little different, but it's in a pretty basic variation of the same. So whether your pointer finger is up or your middle finger is up. Once your hands are down and facing forward, imagine the inside of your elbow is rotated forward. That's going to activate your arms, your biceps, and really lock your shoulders together. So high plank pose is like that, down dog is like that, mountain pose is like that, even crescent lunge is like that. Same basic variation. So when you're ready, from your down dog, let's lift the right leg high. We'll exhale, step that right leg through, crescent lunge. Come up high on those back toes. Rotating the pelvis forward. So your two hip points are rotating forward. That back knee doesn't matter. Is it bent? That's fine. When my back knee is bent, my spine is pretty neutral here. I can start to straighten my back leg, but it doesn't necessarily have to be completely straight. Arms are high. So imagine that same variation. Our hands are just rotated forward. So arms are up, rotated in. We're locking our shoulders into place. And from this crescent lunge, we're going to begin to step forward and eventually making it into our warrior three pose. So maybe you just take a second to bounce off that back foot until you fly forward. Warrior three pose. 3 breaths in warrior three. Try to rotate your pelvis down. And maybe I can show you, I'm facing you. A lot of us tend to open that hip up. Try to rotate that foot down. So instead of that back foot flying out to the side, imagine it's pointing down towards the mat. Press the heel into the wall behind you. Last breath here. And let's lower the hands down. Left leg comes high, standing split. Even here, you can rotate the pelvis down, or you can open your hips up. Maybe your left leg comes a little higher. Always, if you have blocks or pillows, you can always use those to support you. And let's step that back leg down for pyramid pose. Getting into the hamstrings. Getting into the backs of your knees. Even your calves a little bit. If you'd like to lift your front toes off the mat, you can do that here as well. And getting deeper into your calves. And if your toes are high, let's lower the toes down. Slide the back foot back a little bit farther. We're going to root the hands in. Right leg comes high for your 3-legged down dog. Inhale that leg up. Chance here to get into your hips. Drop your foot down towards your left shoulder. Point or flex the foot. Press into the heel of the standing leg. Gaze under the right arm. See if that hip will open more. Unfold out of your scorpion. Right foot comes under the body for falling triangle. Just come under a little bit, or it can slide pretty far. Up to you. Left arm comes high. Left hand comes down to the mat, high plank pose, unfolding the right leg. And down dog. Now we'll take a little pause here. So you can either come down to your forearms for your dolphin, or if you would like a child's pose, maybe even come down onto your knees. You can still stay on your forearms. So I would say either high, with your hips high, maybe even walking in a little farther, or take the version where you're on your knees. If you're taking the version where you're on your knees, try not to sink into your shoulders. Lift up and out of your shoulders, making this an active shoulder exercise. And you have about 5 more breaths. So if you choose to take a child's pose, a little break in between, that's fine as well. Active or break, whatever feels good to you. Just breathe. We have 3 more breaths. And on your next breath, if you're in child's pose, come back onto your forearms, maybe from tabletop. So here, you're not really arching your back if you're in your forearm tabletop. Taking that arch out of the back, just make it neutral. Rotating the hip points under. Pull your belly button towards your core. Activate your body. Really squeeze those shoulder muscles. And from your knees, curl and tuck your toes. Hips come high for your dolphin pose. Straighten the arms. Down dog. Left foot lifts. Inhale that leg up. Exhale, pull the leg through for crescent lunge. Inhale the arms up. Same version, sinking into that back leg. It's okay to try it first. Maybe you're used to really lengthening that back leg and you've got a lot of stretch going on in your back quadricep and hip flexor. It's okay, try bending the knee. How does that feel? Squeeze the glutes, rotate the pelvis. Mula Bandha is tight, core is tight. Uddiyana Bandha, tight. Pull the ribs in, arms are high. Shoulders are strong. Try to flex the back foot. It's going to activate your lower leg. Take 1 more breath. Remember, we're going to do that little bounce and launch. So maybe you bounce a couple times. Maybe you bounce 3 times, making your way into your warrior 3. In that warrior 3, remember, we're not opening that hip. We're rotating the pelvis down, even if it means bringing your hands alongside your hip. Flex that back foot. Press the heel back behind you. Hands are anywhere that's comfortable. Core even here, strong. Lower the hands down, standing splits. Don't forget your breath. Maybe the leg is really high. Maybe your hips and pelvis are rotated down. Whatever feels good. And let's gently lower right foot down, pyramid pose. Folding over that front leg. If you did it on the other side and you want to attempt it on this side, to lift those front heels up. Remember, by lifting the front heels, we're getting deeper into your calf. You might feel sensation in the back of the knee, maybe even the hamstrings, the front leg, and the back leg. 1 more breath. Even here, Mula Bandha is strong. Uddiyana Bandha, strong. Lower the toes down. Slide the right foot back for a wide pyramid. To root the hands in, three-legged down dog. Left leg comes high, scorpion pose. Drop the heel of that foot towards your right shoulder. Left heel towards your right shoulder. Gaze under the left arm. Maybe even tuck your head under that arm. Getting deeper into your twist. Open the pelvis. Uncurl. Left leg reaches under your body. Core is tight, strong. Slide that left foot under. Right hand comes high. Fall in triangle. Don't forget that breath. Right hand comes down, high plank. Slide that left foot back. Always an option to be on the knees here. Shoulders are strong. Rotate the insides of the elbows up towards the front of the mat. And imagine here your grip. You're pressing the whole palm of the hand into the mat. So that's your base with your grip. And just think that you are squeezing the mat with your fingers. So you're gripping on. Always keeping the palms rooted. Grip with the fingers. That's going to help your wrists. Gazing to the top, let's start to tiptoe the toes up. Down dog, and then eventually the toes come all the way up. The hands might have to come off the mat where the knees are bent, standing forward fold. And we are going to move into an inversion of your choice. I like to, from here, walk the feet out, lower the hips down for yogi squat. And in your yogi squat, you can stay. If you want to practice crow pose for your inversion, that is a form of an inversion because you are somewhat going upside down. You're balancing on your hands. You are taking crow. Root the hands in. Maybe the knees go all the way up into your elbows. You can start to lean forward, maybe lifting one foot at a time, eventually making yourself so your hips are a little bit higher than your head. If you want to take any other inversion that you're practicing, whether it be headstand or handstand, maybe handstand kick-ups, you can also take your tripod. I'd say any inversion at all, just to get your feet above your head. A more relaxed version, if you're ready for yin, would be to come down into your waterfall pose. So lying down on your back, feet up in the air for waterfall pose. Whatever inversion you're in, we've got about 5 more breaths. Now that doesn't mean, here I'm calling out the 5 more breaths. That doesn't mean that after 5 breaths you have to come out. If you want to stay, you can stay for longer, maybe 10 breaths. I think in Ashtanga, you hold headstand for about 10 breaths at the end. So whatever your body needs, whatever it's telling you to do, stay there. If waterfall feels good and that's where you're at, stay in waterfall. Whether you have a block under your hips, a pillow under your hips. We are about to get into the yin part, so I'm going to actually be turning the lights down. I'm going to grab my pillows because I just like to use some pillows during my yin practice. So we have about 2 more breaths. And go ahead and begin to make your way down. And I moved the camera down so I can be a little bit closer with everyone. But we'll start. I want to get into your lower back. So if you're in waterfall pose, go ahead and remove the block, the pillows, whatever it is underneath of you, and just set it off to the side. We're going to meet in a seated forward fold, feet out in front of you. So we'll begin to lean over. Now in your seated forward fold for our yin version, we're going to relax the legs. So don't feel like you have to grab the feet and pull your body as hard as you possibly can down to your toes. This is more about relaxing and letting gravity work for you instead of you working the gravity. So for me, I like to use a pillow in my lap. So I'm going to place this pillow here and I'm just going to begin to lean over the pillow. Maybe I'll cross my hand. You can still grab a hold of the feet if that's an easy version for you, but don't feel like you have to grab your feet to force yourself into this pose deeper. And if you're on the playlist, just at this point, you might want to turn the playlist to a softer song if it's not already. So we're going to begin to slow down. So in a yin style class, I hold the poses anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes. In this particular class, I never hold anything for more than 2 minutes. I think that's a long time, and I'd like to get a little bit more in here than what I can normally do in a shorter period of time like this. As you're folding over, wherever you're at, just try to relax the legs. And here, it's okay if you're rounding the back a little bit. It's okay if your head is leaning forward. Maybe you're using a pillow or a block or a bolster underneath your forehead to support your neck. We have about 3 more breaths. And at the end of this breath, let's slowly roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. So let's take this really slow, even if your hands are alongside your body and you're helping yourself up. So that is also one of the principles for yin yoga, is that we're moving slow in the pose, we're moving slow out of the pose. So for here, we're going to get into your lower back now. So this time we're going to take half butterfly pose. So for half butterfly, right foot. So it doesn't matter which foot you decide to take in. You can, because the next pose we're going to do exactly the same on the opposite. So for your half butterfly, I have my right foot in. Right foot comes to the inside of your left leg. You can also take that right foot to your calf if that feels better. So to get into the lower back now, we're leaning forward. We're not trying to lean into the center of our legs. We're actually trying to lean towards the extended leg. So it might look a little off in the camera. I'll just extend my leg towards you. So for me, I'm going to grab the outside blade of my foot, right hand outer blade of my left foot. If you can't reach your foot, it is okay to just take both of your hands towards the outside of that left leg. Maybe this is good enough. We're aiming to feel sensation on the lower right side. If your right leg is bent in, lower right side of your back is where you're trying to feel the sensation. So maybe you have to twist a little bit, do some funky things with your body, really get into that twist deeper. But look for sensations in the lower right side. You're also going to feel sensations in your hamstrings. Now it's time to relax. I'm going to start the timer actually as you're folding forward. So in this pose especially, I like to make sure that we're going to be equal, exactly the same in balance on both sides. So try to relax. That's one of the main components of yin yoga. Practicing a yin pose is we're relaxing the muscles. So we spent the first half of class really strengthening and being strong. Now it's time to let stuff go. Let's let everything go. Let's let our muscles go. Let's relax. Let all the crap go that's been in our mind, the thoughts that have been spinning rapid all day. Let it go. Just be here with your body. Begin to focus on all the sensations you're feeling. Maybe even focus on the breath. So taking a Ujjayi breath is not necessarily a mandatory breath for yin yoga, but it might be a complementary breath. So it might just feel good to take it. I find myself in the middle of a pose taking Ujjayi breaths when I don't even realize that I'm taking them. It's become more natural for me while I'm practicing yin yoga. 3 more breaths wherever you're at. Try to close your eyes. Just go inside. Feel your body. And this will be your last breath. Let everything go. Maybe even sigh the breath out on the exhale. Slowly on the inhale, we'll lift up. Go as slow as you can go. Coming out of the pose slow. That's just as important as relaxing the muscles, as finding stillness in the pose. Let's extend the right foot long. And for here, we're just going to pause in the center. Let's reach your hands behind you. We're going to roll the shoulders back and let the head drop behind you. So normally when we're taking a yoga class, we say to be careful with the neck. So we want a neutral spine. But for this pose, let's just drop the head all the way back if it feels good. We're only going to be there for 1 breath. So maybe even inhale the neck and head back. Open the throat. Exhale, bring the head back to neutral. We'll come into the other side. Left foot, inner right thigh. So slide that left foot in. Remember that option. It can be on the calf if that's a better option for you. I'm going to take my left foot to my inner right thigh. And for here, this might be your tighter side. Sometimes we're tighter in the left lower back. So if your left leg is bent, you're going to be feeling sensation in your left lower back. But to get that sensation in your back, you have to walk your hands to the outside of your right leg. So if you can see that in the camera, my hands are to the right. It might look opposite. I'm not really sure how it looks on screen to you guys. But for me, it helps if I can grab the blade of my right foot with my left hand. That's just going to help me twist deeper to get into my lower back. And I do a pretty physical job, and my lower back gets a lot of work. So this is one of my very favorite stretches for my lower back. Options here, you can always use your pillow. Maybe you just have it alongside your body to lean on. Maybe you have it placed between your torso and your thigh. Just as an FYI, couch pillows are great for yin yoga. And we have about 5 more breaths. So you might find yourself in a Ujjayi breath. Just allow it to flow, whatever feels natural to you, whatever's going to help you to focus in on this pose. Even here, I'm going to place my block actually underneath my forehead to support my head here. Bring your attention to your lower back now. Does it feel like it is squeezing or tensing up? If it does, let's release that tension. Try to let that muscle go. If the muscle will not release, back out of the pose a little bit until that muscle will relax. We're trying to really stress the fascia that is connecting down into your pelvis and around your pelvis, and it's pulling up into your lower back, into your mid back. Exhale the air all the way out, sigh it out, release it through the nose, whatever feels good. On your inhale, we're going to straighten up. Be gentle, be slow, nice neutral spine. Once again, let's extend both legs out in front of you. Slide your fingertips behind you. Maybe you're on the fingertips for this. Maybe you're on the fists. Really, everybody's different. If you have wrist issues or problems, it might feel good to be on the fists. Let's just slide the hands back. This time, we'll rotate and roll the shoulders out behind us. Stretch your chest towards the ceiling and just gaze up. This is about now stressing the tissue across your chest. Press your chest high, get a nice stretch. Point the toes. And let's release back to neutral. Nice straight spine. Here we're going to get into your hips a little bit. We did a little back. We've done some neck. We are getting into the hips. So favorite hip stretch. 90-90, or in yin we call this square pose. You may also have heard this as double pigeon. Now if you are on a concrete floor like I am, I have one of those really soft mats, and I took it and I cut it into a bunch of pieces. This is fantastic to have at home because you can put it underneath your bones. So for me, I'm going to put it under my ankle. You can also use this under your knee in any pose at all. If you have a cheaper mat that you can cut up, they are great to use. So from here, for your square pose, your 90-90, you're going to make sure that your foot is over top of the leg. So maybe the ankle is actually touching either the knee or just past the knee. This is better for your ankle. Now, if this is not an option, maybe you're up here with your knee. That's okay as well, as long as you feel good. Now, the other option for a yin yoga version is to actually slide that foot in front of your leg. Now, I have my right leg on top. Doesn't matter which leg you decide to take first, but the top leg, if you slide it in front, you may be able to lean forward. So as you're leaning forward, whether you're up high or down low, this is a couch pillow, great thing. Place your couch pillow in front of your lap. Maybe here you can place something under your forehead even. Just try to relax into the pose. Leaning forward. Even here, we can round the back. We can let the neck and head hang a little bit forward. And I'm going to start the timer. This is a pretty deep hip opener. So try to relax your outer hips. So for me, I'm just going to bring my foot back on top of my leg. So my right leg is on top. That means I feel sensation. The most sensation is in my right hip. If your left leg is on top, you're going to feel most sensation in your left hip. Now that doesn't mean you're not going to feel sensation in both hips. You will, but one will be more than the other, generally speaking. And we have about 7 more breaths. If you would like to take those 7 breaths, go ahead. 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out. Try to soften the hips, the pelvis. So we're really working the hips. And you can imagine, when we think about hips, we're generally thinking about our outer hips. But there's a lot of different components to hips. So I took a hip workshop with, I think it was Garth Hewitt, and I have a very open pelvis. So my legs will open really wide. I can do pigeon pose. I can do 90-90 very easily. But there's a lot more to the hips than just your outer hips. There's the muscles on your inner thighs connect to your pelvis. Your hamstrings are connecting up into your pelvis, into your hips. Even your quadricep and hip flexors are connecting up into your hips. So there's all these different components to really stressing the tissue around your pelvis. So I did find out that I do not have open hips. I actually have really, really tight hips because my quadriceps and my hip flexors are very tight. It's just a different mindset. It's a different way of thinking of things. So this is our last exhale. So go ahead, let the air out. Doesn't matter if you're with me or if you're a little behind or a little ahead. Release that breath. When you come to the bottom, pause. Slowly breathe in and lift your chest high. Let's extend both of those legs out in front. It's almost like a 90-90. Let the feet come to the mat. Your legs are almost in a 90-degree angle. Hands can come behind you. We're just going to release the hips a little bit by switching the knees, right and left, windshield wiper them. And if you'd like to extend the legs out and get a little shaken, you can do whatever feels good here. We're eventually going to come into the other side, so take your time getting there. If you need a little bit more time to loosen up those hips, feel free, just join us when you're ready. We have enough time in yin yoga to really do what you want to do in these poses, do what feels good. Now, when I come into this other side, my left leg will be on top. So just take the opposite of wherever you were at. Left leg is on top. Once again, try to let that foot be off if you're taking the full expression of 90-90 or square pose. So foot is hanging slightly off. Now your knee may be lifted up. Once again, this is okay. You can stay here as long as you don't have pain. This just means that your actual pelvis might be shaped in a little bit more. So your bones will allow your leg to be more upright. That's okay. That's why you were meant to be that way. We are all meant to be exactly like what we are. Brian Kest, I think, said, the beauty of the human race is the differences between us. And that really touches me. And I like to say it because I think it means a lot. But when you're ready, I've already started the timer. So when you're ready, go ahead, get in there, feel good, come into it like you did the other side. Just notice the differences. How does this side feel in comparison to the other side? Is this side tighter? Is this side easier? Maybe your knee is higher on this side. Maybe it's even flat. I think this is my tighter hip. So as you are coming into this pose, take your time getting there. Relax your body. Try to relax your hip. And a lot of us have a really hard time with hips because a lot of people have tight hips. So just know we are all in this together. Notice where the tightness lies. And so generally speaking, the leg that's on top is also going to be the area you feel the most tension. Always make sure your knees feel good. And here we are. We've got 2 more breaths. So go ahead and take those breaths. Breathe in for 5. Breathe out for 5. Breathe in for 5. Breathe out for 5. Nose, mouth, side out. Just get that breath out. Come all the way to the bottom. Pause, pause, pause. And breathe. On your inhale, slowly lift up. And let's extend those legs out. Maybe do that both feet on the ground thing again. Alternating knees right and left. Just doing whatever feels good. Shake the knees out. Shake the feet out. So we got into the hips a little bit. We got into the hamstrings. Let's get into the quadriceps. Let me just check the time real quick. Okay, good. We do. We have time for at least one more good thing. So I want to get all the way in, getting all of those hips. So for our quadriceps and hip flexors, we're going to get into a low runner's lunge. In yin, this is called baby dragon. So if you have something to fold up under your knee, go ahead and place that under your knee. We're gonna step our left foot forward. So I'm facing you and now my head is cut off, but I'm facing you and I'm going to actually bring both of my hands on either side of my foot. So this is your baby dragon. So it's just like low runner's lunge, like what we took earlier, but because it's a yin style pose, I'm calling it by a different name because in this version, we're actually relaxing. So I'm gonna turn to the side now. My right leg is behind me. I'm getting deep into my quadricep and hip flexor. So try to relax that leg. Once again, my hands are on either side of my foot. If you have blocks you want to use, you can do that as well. If you want to sit up a little bit higher, you can do this as well. Just try to sink in whatever you need to do to relax your body. And I've got the timer going. Try to relax your face. Try to relax your neck even here. Let the head hang and tilt down. Now we're not going to be in here for as long because we are running a little short on time. And I want to get into the inner thighs a little bit. This is your last breath, so maybe even count it out. 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out. Slowly lift out of the pelvis. So we're going to lift the hips high, nice and slow, especially if you are really deep in that pose. Slide your left foot back to meet the right. We're going to come right into the other side. So placing anything under the knee for support. If you were using that, this time right leg comes forward. My left leg is behind me. So for baby dragon, your foot is in between the hands. Just like your low runner's lunge, just starting to relax. You'll feel a really deep sensation in your back, quadricep, and hip flexor. Let it go, let it sink in. Try to soften that muscle, release the tension. And if you need to back out a little bit, that's always okay as well. Like I said, this is a really deep stretch. So if it's too much to sink your hips in, it's okay to have the hips high a little bit. Wherever you're at, it's just perfect for your body. Allow yourself to feel whatever tension your body needs. We've got 2 breaths. 5 in, 5 out. 5 in, 5 out, release. Slide that right foot to meet the left. Here in your tabletop pose, let's just take a couple cat-cows to reset our body. So as you inhale, the head lifts, tailbone lifts. Let the stomach drop down. When you exhale, you're going to reverse that. Press the hands into the mat. Push your shoulders up, rounding the back. Tailbone even here, tucks under just slightly, head lowers down. Reverse, inhale, imagine your chest pressing through your biceps. Exhale, back is high, rounded. Just inhaling down to a neutral spine. And to get into the inner thighs, we'll take butterfly pose, yin version. I want to give you guys the option. So we are coming close to the end of class today. For your butterfly pose, it's the same as bound angle, also known as Baddha Konasana. So if you would like to take supine, bound angle, or Baddha Konasana, you can take that on your back. I'm going to demonstrate that for you. The soles of your feet will come together. Your knees will open up to the side. If you have pillows, you can place pillows under your knees to support your knee joints. That's just an option. Supine, bound angle, or Baddha Konasana. You're lying down flat on the mat. So if you decide to take this option, this is a great place to be because the next pose is our corpse pose, our final resting pose. So this is option number 1. If you are going to take a seated Shavasana, then maybe you take your bound angle seated upright with your feet to the center of your body. So they can be up close, they can be far away. But for this bound angle, I'm actually going to put my little piece of cut mat under my ankles again. So from this pose, if you're seated, you can start to lean over the feet. And just begin to breathe. I'm going to go ahead and start the timer. Try to relax your inner legs. So you might not quite be as far bent forward as me, but that's okay. If maybe you're up a little bit higher, you can even have your hands in front of you, leaning forward towards your feet, gazing down at your feet or in front of you on the ground. Maybe even just have your eyes closed. If you want more, some people like to press their elbows into their legs as they're leaning forward. Don't forget to breathe. We have about 3 more breaths. So let's take those breaths. Exhale the air out. Inhale nice and slow. Exhale, release. Inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now let's slowly lift your chest high if you're taking the seated bound angle or Baddha Konasana. If you're already on your back, just extend your legs out for your full corpse pose, your Shavasana. Now we'll be here for about the next 5 minutes for our Shavasana. So if you would like to stay in a seated meditation for this last few breaths, please feel free to do that. You can be seated here, especially if it's only about 5 minutes. Now, as an option as well, I just like to tell you, if you want to stay longer than 5 minutes, you have the rest of the night. Maybe you just decide to sleep in your yoga area for the remainder of the night. But wherever you're at, let's just begin to settle in. We're going to take a few breaths again together. Just try to get comfortable here. Begin to relax your whole body. If you're lying down, if you're seated, try to keep an upright spine. You don't have to activate any other part of your body. Even here, try to close your eyes. And let's take a few breaths. So breathing all the way in. Exhale, release. Inhale all the way to the top of the lungs. We're going to pause the breath at the top. Take in another sip of air. Exhale, sigh the breath out. Come to the bottom. And let's breathe in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. We'll do this for 2 more rounds. Exhale. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Feel the sensations in that pause. What is your body doing? Inhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath. Feel your body. Sip a little bit more in. This time we'll exhale 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And breathe natural. In your natural breath, what is your body feeling? How do you feel right now? But not even that. Don't just recognize what you're feeling or how you're feeling or that you're feeling something, but actually try to recognize the exact sensation it is. Is it warm? Is it cool? Do you feel tingling? Do you feel a void of sensation? Do you feel like your body is heavy? Maybe you feel like your body is actually light, airy, floating. We'll be here for about 1 more minute. And trust what you know. As you grow, as you evolve, as you continue on this journey, you'll discover many special abilities, gifts, and powers. One is an increased sense of knowledge and knowingness. We will begin to understand events and people on a level much deeper than we experienced before. We will begin to know the feeling of a person, place, or thing. We will begin to feel its energy, not just its matter or physical form. We'll talk to a person for a while and know if that person feels trapped, feels like a victim, or feels free. We'll know if a place holds energy that's good for us, or we'll know that the energy isn't right for us, doesn't currently complement our needs. We won't judge, we'll just know, and we'll know what to do. Powers appear when we open the heart. We find the powers of love, comfort, faith, and joy. There are other powers too that come along the way. One of these is the quiet power of trusting what we know. Open your heart, let it show you what it knows. Learn to trust what you know. You're wiser than you think. So that was a reading from Melody Beatty, Journey to the Heart. It's a book we read too from the studio. And yeah, so let's begin to come back to your computers, to the room. For some reason, my screen disappeared, but I think we are all still on here. There we are. So I want to thank you all so much for coming. I see Kelsey, hi, and Tiffany. Hi, Katie's here, Haley's here. Thank you all so much for being here. I think I have some more people. I have Rachel and Tara. Thank you all so much for coming. And if you would like to continue in your Shavasana, you can always lie down and sleep for the next, I don't know, 12 hours. Why not? Right? So hopefully you're all getting caught up on some much needed sleep and really, when was the last time you took a month off? If I don't know if some of you are probably still working like myself, but really, it's wonderful if you think about it. So let's bring our hands to heart center if it's not already. And I want to say the divine in me honors and cherishes the divine in all of you. Namaste, everyone. Namaste, namaste.